Well, I decided to add a snowflake flag to our dollhouse front porch. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy this project is. All right, to begin our flag, I'm going to jump to a clip I filmed a few months ago on how to create our flag base, and then I'll be back and we can start today's flag. All right, in preparation for making our garden flag, I've cut my piece of Ultra Hold Heat and Bond to a 1-inch square, and I've cut a piece of 100% white cotton muslin to a piece that's 1 inch by 3 inches. And I've got a wooden board to protect my table and a piece of printer paper on top of that. I know it's going to be hard to see, but white on white, but I don't want to stain my fabric. So I'm going to take this. I've already pressed this flat, and I've got my little craft iron. This is just a little tulip craft iron. You could use your regular iron that you use for pressing clothes with. This just saves me getting out my ironing board and all of that stuff, and it protects my good iron from any things that might be on my crafting project. So I'm going to take this, follow the directions on the brand of fusible web you get. I'll talk more about the fusible web on the blog post, so be sure and hop over there and get a more thorough explanation of the steps here. We do this every month, so I want to kind of go over it quickly today so we don't spend all our time. Now I'm folding this in half. I put that 1-inch square right at the end, one end of my flag, my strip. The hardest part of this whole process is many times peeling that paper backing. This reveals this shiny part, which is fabric glue. It's a heat-activated glue that will hold our fabric strip together. At this point, don't worry about these little threads hanging off. Those will be sealed once this is finished. Just using my iron to kind of press it down. I'll do a more thorough job of ironing off camera, but I want to give you the idea. Now this needs to cool, and we can move over to the work tile and start our design process. All right, so now that we've got our flag made, I am going to paint our background. I'm going to start with a coat of this light blue. This is Paradise Blue by Ceramic Coat. I think all the paints I'm going to use today are the ones that were provided by Plaid, so thank you to Plaid, and the brushes also. At least at this point, that's my plan. So I am just going to paint the entire background of the flag with this white or this blue paint. Now in theory you could use a piece of blue fabric, but I like to use the paint for these. It seals the fabric so that when I paint my design, it doesn't bleed into the fabric, which it can do if you're painting just onto the fabric. And we are going to attempt to get some nice fine lines. And I see I've got a little miscut there on my flag. That's okay. I can trim that up once this paint is dry. I'll trim it. Now I'm going to hang this over a wooden skewer so that I can hang it. I can set it where it will dry. I saw a wooden skewer on my table 2 seconds ago, and now I don't see it. I'll go find one. I'm going to put this in a spot where it will dry nicely. When it is dry, I will come back and we can start adding our design. All right, now that our background color of light blue is pretty dry, we're going to add some interest. And what I've got here is just a bottom upside down plastic container. I've got 3 colors of paint. I've got our same light blue. I've got our bright blue that we've used on a lot of our snowman, snow themed stuff in the last month. And I've got white. And I've got a cotton ball. I already played around on the other side to make sure I liked how it looked. I had a failed attempt with cotton swabs. So pull off a little bit of cotton, kind of ball it up. You don't want a big, huge cotton ball. You want something fairly small. And then kind of dip it into all 3 colors. And if you find you've got, I've got a lot of dark blue there, and I maybe don't want quite that much dark blue, so get a little more of the white and the light blue. And this is a big advantage to working on a floor tile, because I can bounce this off on here, and I don't have to worry about ruining anything. I just wipe it off with a wet wipe or a paper towel or whatever when I'm done. All right, and that's just what I want, so I'm going to put this aside to dry. When this is all dry, oh, let's do one more thing while we've got the paints out. I do actually want to take a brush, and I'm going to use some of this dark blue. And I just want to make a dark blue kind of line. Careful where you lay this now so you don't lay it back in that paint and make a mess all over the back. And then I'll do the other side off camera. This doesn't have to be a straight line. I just want to have a little bit of a line at the top and bottom to just kind of contain our design. So I'm going to paint the other side. When this is dry, I'll be back and we can start putting our snowflake on. All right, now my paint for my background is dry, and I have some white paint out on this container, and I have some dotting tools. These are 3 from a set of 5 dotting tools I bought probably almost a year ago on eBay. I paid less than $1.50 for the whole set. They did take forever to get to me from China, but I use them all the time. So they are really handy to have. Just go on eBay and search for dotting tools, and they'll probably be in nail art. So off camera, I have made a mark in the very center of my flag. I'm going to dip one of my dotting tools and put a dot right there. And that's one of the bigger ones. I'm going to go with a smaller. And now I'm going to go up. I'm going to try and get this a little neater than the one I put on the other side. And now I think I'm going to turn it. What I'm going to do is try to make 6 dots that are approximately evenly spaced, and they're not. Okay, I failed at that again. That's okay. We're not going to worry about it. It's okay if they're off. Make that bigger. I'll just make that dot a little bigger. I'm going to draw a line up. If you don't have dotting tools, you can use something like a toothpick. That will work really well for painting these kind of details. Worst case scenario, you hate what you do and you either wash it off or paint back over it. Okay, that one wasn't out far enough, so I'm going to extend this one out. All right, I'm going to make kind of a big mark on the end. I'm going to go to a smaller dotting tool. These are all pretty tiny, which I really like for doing miniatures. Now let's go ahead and make a few dots partway down. This is where you really notice that I didn't get them evenly spaced. You guys can get yours more evenly spaced when you're not trying to do this on camera. All right, and I think that's about all I'm going to do with mine. I might touch it up a little bit off camera, but I'm going to let this dry, and then we'll put it over on the dollhouse and see how it looks. Well, there's our garden flag hanging on the front porch of the dollhouse. You can kind of see the snow shovel and the stack sign from last year there in the background, and our snowman sign from a couple of weeks ago. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Be sure and hop over to the blog post for more photos, and so in case you missed the colors of the paint or any of that stuff, all that information will be over there. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit the like button. And leave me a comment. What kinds of things would you like to see in future tutorials? If you like my content and haven't subscribed, I encourage you hit that subscription button and the notification bell so you know when I put up a new video. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.